The story begins with a young man named Max. Max remembers how when he was young, he lived in an orphanage, and his foster family was determined that they called themselves his real family. In that house, Max had a brother named Luke. The relationship between them was very strong, to the point that they believed it was stronger than the bond of blood itself. But suddenly, Luke had to travel to attend university, and a few days later, news hit them like a thunderbolt. Luke killed himself because he couldn't bear the difficulties he faced there. We return to the present time. The police arrest Max while he is painting graffiti on the wall of a building. His foster father comes to bail him out and says to him, "What's wrong with you? Since Luke's death, you completely changed." His father had arranged everything and spoke to the judge, and instead of prison, Max will spend his punishment period in a nursing home. As soon as Max heard this, he objected and said it's impossible for him to do that, but he had no other choice. And indeed, he is sent to that center against his will. The center was very far from the city. As soon as Max arrived, he noticed an old man standing, looking at him from a window on the 4th floor. Inside, Max met 2 staff members, Liz and Juno, who explained all the rules of the place to him. The most important rule was that it is absolutely forbidden to go up to the 4th floor. That area is designated for cases requiring special care, and entry there is not allowed at all. Here, Max begins his work in the place. One time, while collecting garbage, he knocked on the door of a room and no one answered, so he entered. He was shocked when he found 2 old people wearing masks. A little later, while working near the swimming pool, he met a woman named Norma. But suddenly, an old woman who was in the water, her head started bleeding. Max quickly ran to help. Everyone got out of the swimming pool. From the first day, the boy was anxious and not himself, asking himself how he could continue working here. At night, he couldn't sleep. He dreamed of his brother Luke and woke up terrified. Suddenly, he heard the sound of screaming coming from the floor above. The next morning, the door of his room was being knocked on hard. He opened it and found an old man telling him that another patient's diaper had leaked, and now he was smearing its contents on the walls as if he were painting. Max had to clean it up, but when he left his room, he discovered it was a trick. All the elderly residents were standing and gathered just to welcome him. Here, Max met a man named Lou, and the others welcomed him warmly too. There was a woman sitting, painting, and when Max looked at her, she made a strange gesture with her tongue. Later, Max met the center's doctor, Dr. Sabin. The doctor looked into Max's eyes and said to him, "Your eyes are wide and beautiful." At night, while Max was sleeping, the woman wearing a mask appeared to him again. She lay next to him and whispered in his ear, "I want you now." But Max woke up from the dream and discovered it was just a dream. He couldn't go back to sleep, so he got up to walk in the hallway. He heard strange sounds coming from above. At that moment, Norma appeared behind him and asked him, "What's keeping you awake until now?" They started talking, and during their conversation, something small like a pendant fell from Norma. Max bent down to pick it up and told her he had seen something like it before. Norma told him that her friend, Autumn, used to make them, and after she died, she kept it as a memory of her. Then she showed him a torn painting her son had drawn. She told him her son tore it during a fight between them. But now, after losing him, she kept even that torn painting as a precious memory. From that time, Max began to see all the elderly residents differently and realized they were good people, each with their own story. But a short while later, while he was working, he heard another scream coming from above. This time, he couldn't hold himself back. He ran up to the forbidden 4th floor, and there he found dozens of patients sitting in wheelchairs. Their condition was terrifying, with blood dripping from their eyes. One of them saw Max and started screaming, and with all his strength, he tried to get up from the wheelchair and staggered toward Max, attacking him. At that moment, the other staff members quickly entered and pulled the old man away. Max was standing, shocked by what he saw. Dr. Sabin confronted him and said, "What you did was wrong. This floor is forbidden," he continued, saying, "Listen, we know why you're here. Take this opportunity and start anew. Don't go back to your recklessness and impulsiveness." After this incident, Norma met Max and told him she heard he went up to the 4th floor. She said to him, "Look, you have a kind heart, and that's why you feel sorry for those people." Then she said to him, "Hearts are with each other," but she warned him, saying he wouldn't be able to do anything for them and no one could. The next day, Max saw Norma arguing with Dr. Sabin. He went to her and asked her what was wrong. She said, "Nothing's wrong." So Max brought her a drawing he had completed himself, finishing the torn part of her son's painting. When Norma saw it, She was deeply moved and her eyes teared up. She repeated the same phrase, "Hearts are with each other." Then she warned him, saying there was something very wrong in this place, and he needed to escape from here as quickly as possible. Max stayed up all night thinking about her words. The next day, Norma was not there. Juno told him she was a little sick and under observation in the center's clinic. A little later, Max looked up at the 4th floor and saw the same old man again, trying to write something with his blood on the window. Suddenly, Norma fell in front of Max, collapsed on the ground, and died. Max broke down. They held a funeral for Norma. Lou was very sad. He and Norma were close friends, and she always made him take care of his food and health. Max asked Lou if he believed she could have committed suicide and told him about the words Norma had said to him the previous night. At that moment, something strange happened to Lou, and he started acting unnaturally. After he calmed down, he said this condition comes to him from time to time. That night, Max had another dream. He saw Norma and the old man. He woke up in the middle of the night and found a UV flashlight in his room. He turned it on and saw a message written on his wall that said, "Look for those with the mark." Max took the flashlight and went to Lou's room. There, he saw a strange mark on a lock. The next day, Max called his foster parents, told them about Norma's death, and said he had to help these people. Max sneaked into Norma's room, which was sealed with red wax. Before he could find anything, Liz appeared and said to him, "Didn't you see the yellow tape outside?" Liz was going to file a complaint against him. Max told her he was just there to say goodbye to Norma. Liz said all her belongings would be burned in the basement, and the matter was over. So Max went down to the basement to search through her things. He found her pendant and her diary. In the diary, Norma had written that Max was in danger and that they came at night with their needles and dogs to change them. After that, Max went to Lou, but Lou had gone mad from grief after Norma's death and was torturing himself. Max stopped him, shouted, and asked for help. After that, he took Lou to get treated. Max opened the internet and started searching for Dr. Sabin. He discovered that Sabin was conducting experiments on the brain, experiments on the elderly. Suddenly, ads appeared on the website on Max's computer screen that said, "Have you seen the light?" Max clicked on the ads and entered a private chat. Due to the weak network, he couldn't hear anything. The next day, Max ordered spy cameras. At the same time, he contacted the girl from the private chat again. She was begging him, saying, "Help me, help the elderly before they all turn into monsters like the others." Before she could finish her words, the chat disconnected. Max installed the cameras all over the nursing home and started monitoring all the videos closely. A little later, the same crazy old man appeared, getting close to one of the cameras. Max still didn't understand what the man was trying to say. After a while, Max's eyes grew heavy and he fell asleep. When he woke up, he looked at the recordings and saw Juno taking some of the elderly residents and walking with them. He kept watching and saw a man with a dog, then saw Dr. Sabin and the others entering a room. Max ran to that place and from inside heard terrifying screams. Someone was being experimented on. But the dog saw Max. Max got scared and ran. He managed to get back to his room quickly, but he found a girl waiting for him. It was the same girl from the chat. She told him that the American government was conducting dangerous experiments in this center. After experimenting on animals, they started experimenting directly on the elderly because if something happened to them, the world would believe they were just old people no one asked about. The girl revealed to Max that she was the daughter of one of the old men who used to live downstairs, but was now on the 4th floor. She told Max to continue what he was doing because they needed strong evidence to expose everything. If he could do that, she might be able to save her father. But suddenly, the same crazy old man appeared outside Max's room, attacked the girl, and in the middle of the fight, Max passed out. When he woke up, he found Dr. Sabin standing in front of him. They were about to inject a needle into his eye, but Max discovered it was another dream. When he really woke up, Juno told him that a patient from the 4th floor had managed to escape and said that the man must have wanted to harm him, and that's why Dr. Sabin would examine him now. But as soon as Juno left, Max jumped from the window and escaped. He called his foster parents and went home with them. There, he met his 2 foster sisters who were raised with him. At home, his foster mother said to him the same phrase Norma had said to him before, "Hearts are with each other." Max asked her if she had heard that phrase before. His mother replied, saying, "Yes, a friend of mine used to say it all the time, but I don't remember who." After that, his parents left. Max asked his sisters if they had seen that woman before and started searching the house himself, but found nothing. Then his sisters came and confessed that the pendant he had, there was one like it in their secret place. Max didn't even know there was such a place. They took him and showed him. It was a place like a shrine or a place of worship. There, he found the same type of pendants. That place was dedicated to the Roman goddess of youth. Max discovered old photo albums. Inside those albums, there were pictures of all the people in the nursing home, even his foster parents. In every album over the years, there was one different person wearing a white suit, always sitting in a wheelchair in front of them. One of those people turned out to be Luke, his brother. Now, Max realized that the old man who kept appearing to him was none other than his brother Luke. Max talked to him, and Luke broke down crying. He wanted to help Max escape. Max asked Luke who the people in white were. Luke explained to him that they were the same elderly residents, but in a strange way, they aged rapidly. Before Max could process it, someone hit him on the head and he lost consciousness. When he woke up, he found himself wearing a white suit, looking slightly older. Around him, everyone was celebrating. Max was their guest of honor. And here, the whole truth was revealed. It was all a charade. Each one of them had a role they were playing. They were having fun with Max, enjoying playing with him. The government theories and the marks on the neck, all of it was a lie within a lie. In reality, Max was their food, and they were playing with their food. These people turned out to be worshippers of that goddess. Dr. Sabin explained to him that inside the right eye of a human, there's a sac containing nectar that keeps a person young. But as a person ages, this nectar decreases, and that's why we grow old. These people were extracting this nectar from other people's eyes. That's what kept them young since 1997. And now it was Max's turn. It was time to take the nectar from his eyes. Max screamed and said he would kill them all. But Sabin told him, "After we're done, you won't even have the strength to sweat a fly. You'll turn into a 100-year-old man." And indeed, they extracted that thing from Max's eyes. Now, he too was thrown onto the 4th floor. Lou approached Max and told him they would take good care of him. He confessed that Norma wanted to protect him, and that's why she was killed. He said that after that, they decided to have some fun with Max, and everyone enjoyed the game. Later, when Max regained consciousness, he found Luke next to him. Luke, in his wheelchair, broke a piece of metal from it, collected nectar from the eyes of the other patients, even from his own eyes, and put all in Max's mouth to bring him back to life. When Juno arrived, Max was no longer in his wheelchair. After that, Max began hunting down every one of the residents in the nursing home. Lou hid inside a closet, but Max found him too. Dr. Sabin shot at him, but the bullet hit Lou instead. Max turned into a merciless killer and slaughtered them all. His foster parents tried to escape, but due to the severe storm, part of the building collapsed on them and killed them. In the end, Max saved all the patients on the 4th floor, along with his brother Luke, and took them far away from that cursed place. And that's the end of the movie. We'll meet again in a new summary. Thanks for watching.